Hello student, good morning. Myself Sri K.D. Borse sir, biology subject teacher. In previous lecture we learned control and coordination chapter content concept. Human nervous system. You know human nervous system consists of central nervous system, peripheral nervous system and autonomous nervous system. In central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. Human brain consists of three parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. In forebrain, olfactory lobes and cerebrum, also diencephalon, are the part of forebrain. In previous lecture we learned forebrain contain olfactory lobes and cerebrum. Today we are going to learn human brain contain forebrain third part diencephalon. Also we learn in today's lecture midbrain and hindbrain. So let us start. Human brain consists of three different parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. You know, human forebrain consists of olfactory lobes, especially for detection of smell. It is rudimentary in human being. Cerebrum, it is very big, more larger part of the brain, about 85%. And third one is diencephalon, means first and second part of the forebrain we learn in previous lecture. Today we learn in detail diencephalon. First, what is diencephalon? It is a part of forebrain that contain epithalamus, thalamus and hypothalamus. Epithalamus, thalamus and hypothalamus are the different part of diencephalon. We learn one by one all three parts. Point number 2, here diagrammatic representation seen. Epithalamus part, thalamus part, this one is thalamus and this one is hypothalamus. Means epithalamus, thalamus and hypothalamus are the different part of diencephalon. It present below the corpus callosum. And above the midbrain, seen here, corpus callosum part. This part is corpus callosum. With the help of corpus callosum, right and left cerebral hemisphere joined one another. So this corpus callosum below present diencephalon and this part is midbrain. So above midbrain and below corpus callosum, diencephalon location is seen. Number 3, it enclose, means diencephalon enclose a single cavity termed as third ventricle or diocele. Always remember which one is the cavity of diencephalon: third ventricle or also called as diocele. We learn one by one epithalamus, thalamus and hypothalamus part of diencephalon. First one is epithalamus. It is thin non-nervous roof of diencephalon. Thin non-nervous roof of diencephalon. Anteriorly it forms the anterior choroid plexus. You know, anterior choroid plexus present epithalamus roof of diencephalon. Such anterior choroid plexus are secreted by cerebrospinal fluid, no doubt. This part is the roof part of the diencephalon called as epithalamus, and this epithalamus region anteriorly located, anterior choroid plexus. You know, anterior choroid plexus is also secreted by cerebrospinal fluid. Dorsal wall of epithalamus connected to pineal gland, seen here diagrammatic representation. Dorsal wall of epithalamus connected pineal gland. This is the pineal gland. No doubt it is a endocrine gland, secrete hormone. Such pineal gland, earlier this gland was vestigial. Such pineal gland earlier was vestigial because this gland is not secreted any hormone, but later on it has been produced hormone known as melatonin, but later on it has been produced hormone melatonin. So pineal gland is also endocrine gland present in the epithalamus region of the diencephalon forebrain. Hope that you understood everything. What is epithalamus? Epithalamus contain anterior choroid plexus, secrete cerebrospinal fluid. Dorsal wall connected pineal gland secrete melatonin. So this function is also epithalamus function. Now we learn second part of diencephalon called as thalamus. Thalamus is a second part of the diencephalon. It is lateral wall thick of diencephalon form thalami. Lateral wall of diencephalon form thalami, seen here. This part is thalamus, laterally both right and left side. So lateral thick wall of diencephalon called as thalamus. They contain gray matter. Different part of the brain interconnected by RAS. Different part of the brain interconnected by RAS means reticular activating system. RAS means reticular activating system through the thalami. Here thalamus, thalami, part of the diencephalon, different part of the brain interconnected by the RAS means reticular activating system through thalami. Point number 4, function base. Thalamus function, a relay center as transmit all sensory impulse. Relay center as transmit all sensory impulses except olfactory smell to the cerebrum. Means other than olfactory impulse, all sensory impulse transmitted through thalamus to the cerebrum. This is the most important function. Therefore thalamus also called as gatekeeper to cerebrum, because sensory impulse transmitted through thalamus to cerebrum. Hence thalamus also called as gatekeeper to cerebrum. Hope that you understood everything. Up to this we detail discuss. Thalamus is a part of diencephalon. Now third part of diencephalon called as hypothalamus. It is floor of the diencephalon. You know, epithalamus is anterior part of diencephalon, while thalamus is thick wall of diencephalon. Here hypothalamus is floor of diencephalon. It is richly supplied with blood vessels. Hypothalamus with richly supplied blood vessels called as hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal vein, called as hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal vein, help such blood vessels help feedback mechanism for hormonal control. Seen here, hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal vein, here labeled hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal vein. So this vein provide a rich blood supply to the hypothalamus part, and such a rich blood supply, blood vessel arrangement, hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal veins help feedback mechanism to hormonal control. Point number 3, hypothalamus maintain homeostasis, means internal equilibrium. Number 4, hypothalamus contain neurosecretory cells with hypothalamic nuclei. Hypothalamus region contain neurosecretory cells with hypothalamic nuclei secreted hormones or produce hormones known as oxytocin and vasopressin. These two hormones are specially for hypothalamus hormones secreted by neurosecretory cells of hypothalamic nuclei of the hypothalamus cells known as oxytocin and vasopressin. Oxytocin is responsible for, at the time of childbirth, contraction of myometrium muscles. So oxytocin called as birth hormone. Oxytocin also responsible for release of milk, and vasopressin is also most important hormone. Reabsorption of water takes place in the nephron. Also vasoconstriction is function. So these two hormones are neurosecretory cells of hypothalamus and perform different main important functions seen here. Hypothalamus contain neurosecretory cells. These are the neurosecretory cells secrete hormone oxytocin and vasopressin. That secreted hormone actually released by pituitary gland of posterior lobe. Hypothalamus is a link between nervous and endocrine system because hypothalamus control master endocrine gland known as pituitary gland, and pituitary gland control other endocrine glands. So hypothalamus is link between nervous and endocrine system. Point number 6, hypothalamus regulate heart rate, hypothalamus regulate respiration, hypothalamus regulate blood pressure, body temperature, water and electrolyte balance. Always remember, heart rate, respiration, blood pressure, body temperature, water and electrolyte balance takes place regulation by hypothalamus. Now point number 8, it has means hypothalamus has center for hunger, ज्याला आपण क्रोध म्हणतो. हायपोथॅलामस हॅज सेंटर फॉर थ्रस्ट, तहान सहन करण्याची ॲबिलिटी असते. स्लीप, फटीग, थकावा ज्याला म्हणतो आपण सॅटिफिटी सेंटर मीन्स सॅटिस्फॅक्टरी. आपण आहोत का नाही हे कोणावर डिपेंड असेल तर आपल्या थॅलामसवर असेल. सो हायपोथॅलामस हॅज सेंटर फॉर हंगर, थ्रस्ट, स्लीप, फटीग, थकावा म्हणतो आपण फटीगला, Satiety center means satisfactory center is also hypothalamus. Secretion glands, stomach and intestine. You know, stomach contain different glands, intestine contain different glands that secrete digestive juice, is also control central known as hypothalamus. A complex neuronal circuit called as limbic system. A complex neuronal circuit called as limbic system is formed by hypothalamus. Limbic system complex formed by hypothalamus. Amygdala, it is a part. Hypothalamus, amygdala, also parts of epithalamus and thalamus. Hippocampus is also one of the part, and other areas. Always remember, limbic system is formed by hypothalamus, amygdala, part of epithalamus and thalamus, hippocampus, and other areas seen here. Limbic system formed different parts like hypothalamus, amygdala, part of epithalamus, some part of epithalamus, also thalamus. This is the thalamus part, no doubt, and hippocampus and other areas. So this is the hippocampus part and this one is amygdala part. So all this part means hypothalamus, amygdala, part of epithalamus and thalamus, hippocampus and other areas are formed limbic system, and such limbic system is a complex neuronal circuit. Always remember, such limbic system is appear responsible for emotional reactions, and motivational drive and memory. Function of limbic system: emotional reaction and motivational drive and memory function takes place. Up to this we detail discuss total 9 different characteristics view of hypothalamus. Now we learn 10 number. Floor of hypothalamus continuous as downward projection called as hypophyseal stalk or infundibulum. Floor of hypothalamus continuous downward projection called as hypophyseal stalk or infundibulum, which connect to hypophysis or pituitary gland, means pituitary gland also called as hypophysis. Such gland is connected with the help of infundibulum hypophyseal stalk to the hypothalamus. So such connection are responsible for both physical and functionally by secretion and neurotransmit. Now point number 11. Inferior surface of hypothalamus bears optic chiasma. Inferior surface of hypothalamus bears optic chiasma crossing of the two optic nerves and a pair of mammillary bodies, unique mammalian brain. This structure is unique to mammalian brain. Optic chiasma crossing of two optic nerve called as optic chiasma and pair of mammillary bodies. Such structure is unique to mammalian brain. Hope that you understood everything up to this. We detail discussed total 11 characteristic point of view of hypothalamus. Now we learn midbrain, means up to this we detail discuss. Forebrain consists of three parts. Number 1, olfactory lobe, cerebrum, and third, diencephalon. We learn second part of the brain or middle brain called as midbrain. It located between diencephalon and pons varoli. You know, diencephalon is a part of forebrain, while pons varoli is a part of hindbrain. So midbrain is present in between forebrain and hindbrain, that is in between diencephalon and pons varoli. Second point, midbrain contains cerebral aqueduct or ether. Always remember, it contains cerebral aqueduct or ether that connect, means ether connect third and fourth ventricle. Ether connect third and fourth ventricle. You know, third ventricle contain diencephalon, fourth ventricle contain medulla oblongata. So both ventricles are interconnected by ether or cerebral aqueduct is present in midbrain. Seen here, midbrain. This part is cerebrum, no doubt. This part is hindbrain, pons varoli, cerebellum and medulla oblongata, and this part is midbrain. It is present in between diencephalon and pons varoli. So this part is midbrain part. Midbrain consists of two parts, corpora quadrigemia and cerebral peduncle or Crura Cerebrae. Midbrain consists of two parts, corpora quadrigemia, second part known as cerebral peduncle, also called as Crura Cerebrae. We learn one by one. First one is corpora quadrigemia. What is corpora quadrigemia? It is a part of midbrain. It has four rounded elevations. It has four rounded elevation present on dorsal surface of midbrain. So corpora quadrigemia called as dorsal part of the midbrain. So corpora quadrigemia also called as dorsal part of the midbrain. It has two superior colliculi. Corpora quadrigemia consists of two superior colliculi involved in visual reflexes. While two inferior colliculi involved in auditory reflexes. Always remember, corpora quadrigemia consists of two superior colliculi and two inferior colliculi. Two superior colliculi involved in visual reflexes, while another two inferior colliculi involved in auditory reflexes. So function of corpora quadrigemia is control visual as well as auditory in function, because they involve visual reflexes as well as auditory reflexes. So function of corpora quadrigemia control visual as well as auditory in function. Up to this we detail discuss. Corpora quadrigemina is one of the dorsal part of midbrain. Now we learn second part of midbrain known as cerebral peduncle or Crura Cerebrae. What is cerebral peduncle or Crura Cerebrae? It is a part of midbrain. Two thick fibrous tract present ventral surface of the midbrain called as cerebral peduncle or Crura Cerebrae, hence called as ventral part of the midbrain because this part is present in ventral surface of the midbrain. So cerebral peduncle or Crura Cerebrae, also called as ventral part of hindbrain. Point number 2, this tract means thick fibrous tract of cerebral peduncle, ascending and descending nerve fibers. This tract of ascending and descending nerve fibers connect cerebrum with midbrain. This tract are of ascending and descending nerve fibers are responsible for connect to cerebrum with midbrain. Near the central of midbrain is mass of grey matter scattered within white matter. At the central point of midbrain, seen a mass of grey matter scattered with white matter called as red nucleus. Means red nucleus is one of the region present in cerebral peduncle, means midbrain part. It look like red color, so called as red nucleus, formed grey matter scattered with white matter. What are the function of cerebral peduncle or Crura Cerebrae? Number 1, you know, it connect cerebrum with midbrain. cerebrum ला midbrain बरोबर कनेक्ट करणारा पार्ट कोण असेल तर cerebral peduncle. Also red nucleus present in midbrain play important role in controlling posture, position of the body called as posture. So controlling posture of the body, also muscle tone, is a red nucleus present in midbrain. Also modify some motor activity, also motor coordination modification, means modify motor activity, also modify motor coordination function takes place by red nucleus. What are the function of red nucleus? Controlling posture and muscle tone, also modify some motor activity and motor coordination. Up to this we detail discuss cerebral peduncle or Crura Cerebrae is one of the part of midbrain, and up to this we detail discuss completed. Midbrain consists of two parts. Before that, cerebral peduncle or Crura Cerebrae, corpora quadrigemina and cerebral peduncle. Now we learn third part of the brain known as hindbrain. It is the third part of brain, present posterior part of the brain, means it is posterior part of the brain. It consists of three parts. First one is Pons varoli, second one is Cerebellum, and third one is Medulla oblongata. Seen here, hindbrain consists of three parts: pons, varoli, second cerebellum, ज्याला आपण लहान मेंदू म्हणतो, and medulla oblongata. We learn one by one: pons, varoli, cerebellum, medulla oblongata. First one is pons varoli. What is pons varoli? It is a stem of brain. It is a stem of brain because it look like a stem part of the brain. It has band of nerve fibers. It has a band of nerve fibers from bridge. It has band of nerve fibers from bridge between cerebrum, cerebellar lobes, medulla oblongata and spinal cord. It form bridge between cerebrum, cerebellar lobes, medulla oblongata and spinal cord. Always remember, pons varoli is one of the bridge between cerebrum, cerebellar lobes, medulla oblongata and spinal cord. It contains several nuclei. Pons varoli region contains several nuclei. Seen here, pons varoli part. This part is pons varoli. It contains nerve fibers, form a bridge between, this one is cerebrum, cerebellar lobe, and this part is medulla oblongata and spinal cord. So it is a bridge or stem of the brain. Function of pons varoli: number one, first, connect cerebrum, cerebellar lobe, medulla oblongata and spinal cord. This is the most important function. Second function of pons varoli: conduct motor impulses downward and sensory impulses upward. Seen here, diagrammatic representation. This part is pons varoli. So sensory impulses transfer from upward direction to the cerebrum and motor impulses transfer from downward direction from cerebrum. So this is also most important function: conduct motor impulses downward while conduct sensory impulses upward. Here noted, two main important function takes place by pons varoli. Up to this we detail discuss. Pons varoli is one of the part of hindbrain. Now we learn cerebellum is a part of hindbrain. It is second largest part of the brain. You know, first largest part of the brain known as cerebrum. So cerebellum is second largest part of the brain. It consists of two lateral hemisphere called as right cerebellar hemisphere, left cerebellar hemisphere. So it has two lateral hemispheres and central vermis part, means two lateral cerebellar hemispheres and vermis part are called as cerebellum. Point number 3, before that, diagrammatic representation. This part is cerebellum and this part is vermis. This lateral two parts are cerebral hemisphere and central part called as vermis. So such part called known as cerebellum, and it is second largest part of the brain. It composed of white matter and gray matter. It composed of white matter and grey matter. White matter intermix with grey matter. White matter intermix with grey matter show tree-like pattern called as arborvitae. Due to white matter intermix with grey matter show a tree-like pattern called as arborvitae. Seen here, tree-like pattern seen. This part is tree-like pattern seen because white matter intermix with grey matter show tree-like pattern called as arborvitae. Now point number 5. Surface of cerebellum show convolutions and grooves called as gyri and sulci. Look like cerebrum also show number of convolution and grooves called as gyri sulci. So such gyri sulci are also show surface of cerebellum. Seen here diagrammatic representation. Cerebellum part, this part is cortex part of the hemisphere, cerebral hemisphere, and this part is also show convolution and grooves called as gyri and sulci. Over 30 million neurons. Over 30 million neurons lie in cortex of the cerebral hemisphere. Always remember how many neurons present in cortex region of cerebral hemisphere. 30 million neurons. 3 pair of myelinated nerve bundles. 3 pair of myelinated nerve bundles called as cerebellar peduncles. Connect cerebellum to other part of the CNS. Cerebellum to connect other part of the CNS with the help of cerebellar peduncle are made by 3 pair of myelinated nerve bundle. How many pair of myelinated nerve bundle form cerebellar peduncle? 3 pair of myelinated nerve bundle form cerebellar peduncle, and such cerebellar peduncle connects cerebellum to the other part of the CNS. Up to this we detail discuss total 7 different characteristics of cerebellum. We learn function of cerebellum. Cerebellum maintain equilibrium of the body. Cerebellum maintain equilibrium of the body. Also equilibrium of the body also maintain posture, means position of the body. Balancing orientation also maintained by cerebellum. Moderation of voluntary movement is also maintained by cerebellum. Maintenance of muscle tones. Second function, cerebellum is regulatory center for neuromuscular activity and control rapid activities like walking, running, speaking, etc. Cerebellum also control rapid activities like walking, running, speaking, controlled by cerebellum. Involuntary learning in early stage also maintained by cerebellum. Here noted all these different functions of cerebellum. Up to this we detail discuss cerebellum is one of the most important part of the hindbrain. Now we learn third part of hindbrain known as medulla oblongata. It is the posterior conical part of the brain. What is medulla oblongata? It is posterior conical part of the brain. It continues as spinal cord. It continues as spinal cord in vertebral column. Seen here diagrammatic representation. Medulla oblongata. Pons varil is continuous to medulla oblongata and medulla oblongata is continuous to spinal cord. So this is the medulla oblongata part of the hindbrain. It has inner gray matter and outer white matter. It has inner gray matter and outer white matter. Cavity of medulla oblongata called as fourth ventricle or metacele. ज्या कॅव्हिटीमध्ये मेडुला ऑब्लॉंगेटा असतो त्या कॅव्हिटीला फोर्थ वेंट्रिकल म्हटलं आहे आणि मेटासील. यू नो डायन्सेफेलॉन इज located in the cavity called as third ventricle or diocele. Here medulla oblongata located fourth ventricle or metacele. Its roof means medulla oblongata roof has posterior choroid plexus. Its roof has posterior choroid plexus. And such posterior choroid plexus also secretes cerebrospinal fluid. You know anterior choroid plexus present at epithalamus of diencephalon. Posterior choroid plexus are located in medulla oblongata roof for secretion of cerebrospinal fluid. The posterior choroid plexus also show three openings. Always remember posterior choroid plexus also show three openings. Pair of lateral foramen, a pair of lateral foramen known as lashka, and a median foramen known as magendae. Up to this we detail discuss total 6 different characteristics of medulla oblongata. Now we learn function of medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata control involuntary vital functions. Medulla oblongata control involuntary vital functions like heartbeat, respiration, vasomotor activity and peristalsis. Here noted all these are the involuntary activity. Those activity that are not under our control called as involuntary activity, like heartbeat is not under our control, respiration not under our control, vasomotor activity and peristalsis is also not under our control. So such involuntary vital activity are controlled by medulla oblongata. So medulla oblongata is very most important part of the hindbrain. It also control non-vital reflexes activity like coughing, you know, coughing, sneezing, swallowing, vomiting, yawing. coughing खोकला येतो आपल्याला, स्नीजिंग शिंका येतात, स्वॉल्वविंग आपण गिळतो, वॉमिटिंग माहिती आपल्याला, यॉविंग आपल्याला जांभळी येते. सो ऑल दीज आर द नॉन व्हायटल रिफ्लेक्सेस activity also controlled by Medulla oblongata. Up to this we detail discuss. Medulla oblongata perform its different function and it is a part of hindbrain. Up to this we detail discuss. Forebrain, hindbrain, forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain, part of the human brain. A review today's topic. We learn in today's lecture. Human brain consists of forebrain. We learn in today's lecture Diencephalon is third part of forebrain. Before that we learn two parts forebrain in previous lecture, olfactory lobes and cerebrum. Midbrain consists of two parts, corpora quadrigemia and crura cerebrae, also called as cerebral peduncle. Hindbrain consists of three parts, pons, varil, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. On the basis of today's lecture, some exercise question noted here, MCQ questions. All involuntary vital activity are under control. Cerebellum, medulla oblongata, cerebral hemisphere, pons, varil. Yes, the correct answer is all involuntary vital activity are under control. Medulla oblongata, means B, medulla oblongata is correct option. Red nucleus play an important role in controlling posture, motor coordination, modify some motor activity. All of this, yes, the correct answer is all of this, means controlling posture, motor coordination, modify some motor activity, function done by a red nucleus. Diencephalon includes a single cavity termed as third ventricle, metacele, diocele, both A and C. Yes, the correct answer is both A and C, because diencephalon is enclosed a cavity called as third ventricle, also called as diocele. So both A and C is correct option. Injury to medulla oblongata causes sudden death. Explain. Yes, medulla oblongata control involuntary vital activity like heart rate, respiration, vasodilation or peristalsis is also. So when a little injury to medulla oblongata, such vital activities completely stop, so person becomes sudden death. Distinguish between cerebrum and cerebellum. You know, cerebrum is larger brain, about 85%. Cerebellum is smaller brain and it is a part of hindbrain. No doubt cerebrum is a part of forebrain. What is the function of red nucleus? Yes, maintain posture, also modify motor activities. Maintain motor activity are the function of red nucleus. What is the importance of corpora quadrigemina? Yes, corpora quadrigemina maintain visual and auditory in function. Cavity of medulla oblongata called as, yes, fourth ventricle or metacele. Hypothalamus contain neurosecretory cell, secreted hormone. Yes. Oxytocin and vasopressin are the hormones secreted by hypothalamus. Up to this, today's lecture completed. Hope that you understood everything. If you like the video, then you can subscribe my YouTube bioinfo channel. Tap the bell icon and like the video. If any doubt about today's lecture, mention in comment box. Thank you.